Hey guys, welcome back. And as I promised, I had one more DVD to actually showcase from the small collection that I got. This is from an eBay seller. Got this at a decent price. I think this was 12. This is a DVD set. However, it is pretty small. It's just the cover is basically, or the case is basically of a regular DVD, but it's three movies um, from one particular franchise. Now, question here is, and I really did want to to upload these before Halloween, but during this weekend I've shot quite a few videos, so um, it's going to be difficult for me to upload all of them. It's I don't really have time, so yeah, probably it'll come after Halloween. But like, when I look at it, my channel has never been about themes per se, so I really wanted to do a lot more horror movie reviews during the month of October for Halloween, because that's what everybody is doing. But at the same time, I don't really watch horror movies only during this time. I watch it quite a bit. It's my second favorite franchise. Second favorite genre after science fiction. Or maybe my third favorite if you can put fantasy in it somewhere. So science fiction, fantasy, and I put all superhero stuff under science fiction as well. And then you would have horror. So anyway. So do you guys remember your first ever horror movie? What age were you when you watched your first horror movie? And what was the horror movie, right? So like I mentioned in my previous video, I'm feeling very thirsty, so I'll be drinking a lot of, it's almost over, but I do need some more water. So do you remember? Let me tell you this. So my family watched a lot of English movies when I was a kid. This is when we were back in Kuwait. My parents don't seem to watch English movies that much anymore. My dad does, but not my mom. So when we were in Kuwait back in the 70s, I was born in 76, and when we were, back there up to the 80s, like late 80s when we came back to India, my family used to take a lot of VHS tapes from a library that was owned by a family friend. So he lived in the same building as us, and he would recommend a lot of movies to my dad and mom, saying, this is new, this is what has come in. So along with a lot of Hindi movies, a few Malayalam movies, Malayalam is being my mother tongue, which is my mother tongue, sorry, and some Hindi movies which we would watch. We also got a lot of English films, so my dad used to watch a lot of action movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, those kind of stuff. He is a action fan. A lot of James Bond stuff, a lot of crime dramas and things like that is probably more up his alley. And then what used to happen is we used to also get a few of the, at that time, really famous horror films. So even if I was only 4 years old at the time, which is probably 1980 or early 1981, I remember it was either 4 or 5. So that would have been 1980 August, or the rest of or next year. So I do remember it was either 4 or 5 years old, and there were two horror movies that I remember. I don't remember which was first, okay, but I do remember that these two movies at that particular age is when I actually first watched my horror movies. Both movies were watched by little old me hiding behind the sofa while my parents and my elder sister watched the movie, right? So my parents didn't actually stop me from watching it, but they knew that I was getting scared, so they told me actually to go to the room, but I didn't. I would hide behind the sofa and get scared, literally get the shit scared of me, and watch the two horror films. So the two horror movies that I think are the ones that I watched first in the horror genre. One is, and I'm thinking that is the second one that I watched, is Basket Case. Okay? I have a review of Basket Case somewhere, but it's in my other channel, and I might do a re-review of that sometime, but I'll have to watch it again, because I think I did that review back in 2011, just as a lark, just for a little fun. So the other one is, and this set has got 3 from that franchise, is, can you guess? Evil Dead. So the Evil Dead, the first movie, which is more out and out, or how do you put that? Which is a horror movie, kind of like a straightforward horror film, with possession and evil and all that stuff. That's the first one. The second one, they got a lot more budget in, but they mixed comedy along with horror. And the third one is, I think, more comedy than horror, but it's got all the elements of horror as well in it. For me, the third one is a lot more funny. The second one has got a good mix of horror and comedy, and the first one is completely horror, right? And yes, it scared the living daylights out of little old me back then. But since then, The Evil Dead, the first movie, has become one of my favorite films of all time because, yeah, you never forget your first. In more ways than one, right? So this got a slipcover, unfortunately, which, did I get this from eBay? I'll have to check. I'm not really sure if I got this from eBay or, I think this is from Amazon, I'm not sure. From a third party seller on Amazon. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of a damage. So the spine here is actually damaged, if you can see. Let's see if that, I don't know if you can actually see that, but yeah, there is a damage over here, which is disappointing. But then since I've got the slipcover, and on the slipcover the damage isn't major, right? So I wasn't planning on taking the slip off, but because it's 3 films, I do have to take the shrink wrapping off. Shrink wrap, sorry. So these movies, rather, I would say, is something I believe every horror fan should have in their collection. Because come on, guys, it's The Evil Dead. Look at the name itself, The Evil Dead. And like I mentioned, the first one, is more straightforward horror. That's what I was trying to put it across. It's more straightforward horror. The other two are, you've got how endearing can it be when you mix horror and comedy together? I mean, anybody who's related, who likes that kind of stuff, will definitely love those 2 films as well. But for me, the first one is definitely my favorite. So, directed by Sam Raimi, we got The Evil Dead, starring the almighty Bruce Campbell as Ash. That's the first one, the straightforward one. So for some reason, they wanted the movie with his boomstick to be redone, kind of tell the same story but with different elements in it. So in the first one, it's him, his girlfriend, and a bunch of their friends, 3 of their friends. So total 3 girls and 1 guy going to the woods and staying in, and then they awaken this evil creature, evil spirit demon kind of things that starts attacking the woods. That infamous rape scene in the woods, and then she gets possessed, and then spreads to the others. He's the only one who survives, and then of course you have the second film. Sorry, he doesn't survive in the movie. He actually gets possessed at the end, but in the second movie it's like all over again. We're starting. It's him and a girlfriend, a different actress, going to the same cabin. They've awaken the spirit, and then all hell breaks loose. And then this is Army of Darkness, which is really funny to be honest. I mean, even though it's horror comedy, to be honest, I find it's more comedy. So it's a very enjoyable movie. So I think I watched the Army of Darkness in the early 80s. I'm not really sure. Evil Dead 2 I watched sometime in the around the same time, I guess. So maybe around 1990s when I watched Evil Dead 2 on VHS. And then my sister and I remember we watching the Army of Darkness. I think she watched it first, and then we watched it together a little later. So that's the Evil Dead collection, the first 3 movies. I already have an Indian edition of, which is like a digibook kind of thing, of the Evil Dead, somewhere here. There it is. I like that one as well. That's more horrifying, with a lot more gore, is what I believe, compared to the others. But this one, these are really, really awesome, classic horror, if you would ask me. And yes, so I've been wanting to get this set for a long time, but because of I kept looking for the prices to go down, and I did that. I think it came to around £12 for the 3 movies, including shipping. So that's it, guys. That's for the update, and this will probably go in after Halloween, but really wanted them to be part of the Halloween stuff. But yeah, I think I won't be able to because I already did a couple of other movies as well. So who cares? These are my favorite genres: science fiction, action, or rather fantasy kind of stuff, and then horror, and then of course all the other stuff, the action, the comedy, and all those things. So, thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I shall. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Halloween coming up, and you can't really go for too many parties, I believe, in most of the places. So I enjoyed within your household. Do dress up if you want to, and have a nice time. So I know this will be uploaded after Halloween, but yeah. All right, guys. So have a good night. I'm going to probably go to bed after some time. Maybe watch a movie. I'm not really sure what I'm going to watch. Pick something up after some time. Good night.